Are you still here? Because I am. And we're watching my collection tour, so I hope you're enjoying watching the madness that is my collection and enjoying all of these books. Anyway, I'm just going to leave you to it, so enjoy. So now our last big bookcase, and we'll just keep going. Those Who Hunt Elves. Threads of Time is a pretty good time travel manhwa title. Tiger and Bunny, I think, is in Japanese. ×2. Time Stranger Kyoko. Toganu no Chi. Togari, which I think actually we might be done with now. Toko, also recently complete. I'm looking forward to. Very Bloody, same author as GTO. I've been wanting to read it. Tokyo Babylon, Beautiful Spines. Tokyo Boys and Girls. Tokyo Mew Mew. I think Tomo-chan is a girl. It's hard to see that close up. Anyway, front row. Here's a really smutty manga. I bought a bunch of manga just sort of randomly. I think I showed you one already. I didn't know what they were about. Yeah, that sounds great. I don't know what the title is, but I was looking for something, or I was trying an experiment. It didn't work out. Toradora 1-2. This is Tora. Was it To Okami? Oops, sorry. Tora To Okami. This is by the same author's Boys Over Flowers. I'm not caught up to it though. I haven't been reading it though either, so it's okay. Toto, Tower of the Future, missing a couple. Train Man Densha Otoko. This is personally the best of the editions. This is the seinen manga. I recommend it the most. There's also the shoujo Train Man. Then Train, Tramps Like Us, Josei manga, Translucent, which I can't believe got dropped. It is beautiful. Trash, Trigun #2, that's the Barnes & Noble, which is really funny because we never had a Barnes & Noble here in Canada, or at least not where I live. And then Trigun, those are anime books, so they're color. In the corner here, Trinity Blood, and then Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. I don't think we have the whole thing. We have a bunch of it, up to 17, and then the character guide. I do think that we would buy more. It's my sister's. Tsubasa, Those with Wings, I don't think is complete either. Some random mini comics. I don't know what they are though. I was just given them. Tokyo Gin. It's about the boy who lives in a penguin body. Very wacky. Twin Knights, Twin Speaka, 1, 2, 3, 9, and then 10, 11, 12, which is actually the end, so we need the munch in the middle. The Flowers for the Dragon, that's actually a good title, was dropped, right sort of in the climax. 2 Will Come, #2. Ultra Cute, we're missing volume 1. Ultra Maniac is actually in pretty rough shape, so I think we're in the market to replace Unmagical Girl. I don't know if I'm caught up or not. Is there more than 2 volumes? Until the Full Moon, and then Until the Full Moon and At Full Moon. They have different, like this is the broccoli version, and then I think this one comes with an extra story, and then this is like a sequel, I think. My sister was a fan of Tsunami Mato. I don't know if she is anymore. Utsubora, another Banri Hidaka, Vagabond. Bought that in Japan. Vampire Game. Why did the color change? Does anyone know that? Vampire Knight. So we have volume up to 10 here, but then the box set is in the closet. And then Vampire Knight Memories. 3 volumes. Phoebe Rose, one of my absolute favorites. It's just very, very pretty. And you have up to 11 where it was dropped, like everything else, and then all of it in Japanese because I liked it that much. It made it to 14. Velveteen and Mandela, which I read recently, and if you've read it, you will commiserate with my brain. Venus Capriccio. I think we have all of this. I think it's done in 4. I think. Venus in Love. I really like this one. Drops. But it's very, I don't know, very cozy. So even though it doesn't have a very satisfying conclusion, it's nice to reread. Then Versailles of the Dead. I loved the first volume. I hated the second volume. Let me know how the third volume is, whether I should continue. Versus, that's an awkward high school teacher romance. Video Girl Eye, despite the fan service, delightful. You should read it. The Vision of Escaflowne, which is unfortunately not nearly as good as the anime, in my opinion. Then I have 2 versions of Voices of a Distant Star. I bought this one and then was given this one like a week later from a friend. They have completely different translations, so they're kind of fun to look at. Voices of Love, which is another ladies manga. Just not a fan of the genre. Vision of the Other Side. I don't know if I've read that. Manhwa. W. Juliet. We do have the whole thing of that. It's complete at 14. And then we have The Wallflower, which is a long series. It's great at the beginning just because it's so fun. It's a reverse harem. And then in the middle it gets quite boring and repetitive. And then it starts to pick up again later on. So I say you could probably skip at least a good 10-15 volumes in the middle to get to the end. Then we've got Wanted, which is a one-shot, or, you know, a couple short stories anyway. And obviously missing a few volumes, so they must be in someone's room. Oh, I have Waku Waku currently off the shelf. Then Water Dragon's Bride. I don't think I'm caught up, but I still have only read the first volume. Wedding Peach, which we've recently completed collecting, but it's actually the first manga we ever bought. And here they are, both the first manga we ever bought. One of these was my sister's, one was mine. And yeah, because there wasn't a lot of options, we both got the same title. Welcome to the NHK. Oh, it's interesting. That must be in Jenny's room too. And then a couple volumes of Japanese. We Were There, 1 through 16. And then What Did You Eat Yesterday? Kino Nani Tabeta. Whistle. We have all of Whistle, which hopefully you can see. It's hard to hold it in this corner, is a little awkward for filming too. We have all of Wild 7 that was published. It was dropped, but I really want to read it. Just haven't gotten there yet. Wild Act. Everything Rie Takahata is a favorite of mine. This is another I'm in love with my brother, but we might not be related. Particularly good one. It's not quite as popular in manga being published these days. Wild at Heart. I don't recommend unless maybe you're 11 years old. Wild Ones. The rest of Wild Ones, we have Wish in both editions, so the Tokyo Pop and the new one. I've been meaning to read them side by side, so that's one of the reasons I haven't got to it. I also just haven't been reading as much lately. Wolfsmund. I think we have all of it. I hope we do. I think it's hard to find. Wonderful World of Sazai-san. This is a bilingual manga. There are more volumes, and I'd like to collect them. Hopefully will. World Exists for Me. This is the same author as Utena, dropped after 2. The World I Create was dropped after 1, but it's, if you ever see it, you should pick it up. It's good, self-contained short stories. Wounded Man. 1 through 9. Oh my goodness. I think there's a lot of nudity in it, but that's what the boys like to draw. X. Random volumes. We're still missing a few. 7, 9, 10, 11, 13. We did have some oversized volumes, I think 1 and 2. We're not quite there though. And then we have Holic, 1 through 9, 12, 14, 15. Holic Ray, 1 through 3. X Kai, which is not bad. It's a shorty anyway. Yakitate Japan. If you like Food Wars, you might like that one. It's another food sports manga. It's also pretty long. Yggdrasil. Interesting title. I don't think there's more of it though. Yokai Doctor's New. Yokai Watch. I don't care for. We've got Yoki Koto Kiku, which is another Kogedombo title, which I think is shonen, but it reads like a shoujo horror. It's fantastic, in my opinion. Yona of the Dawn, up to 15. I don't think we're quite caught up. I've read, I think, probably around to 13, so I'm actually not that far behind. And then Akatsuki no Yona in Japanese. What volume is this? I can't tell, it's covered. A random volume. I only have one hand. Youngbi the Invincible. I haven't read that. Yotsuba, and you'll notice that I have 1 yen press because I lent my ADV version to a friend and never got it back. So I had to replace it. So I have kind of a spine inconsistency here. It only annoys me because I'd rather have the ADV. But I have up till 14, which I think is up to date. And then I have 1 through 4, and I'm missing 5, and I've got 6, 7. If you're learning Japanese, this is a pretty good title because the language is pretty simple. Then I have Young Magician. A lot is still in plastic. We've been collecting it recently, so I don't think either of us have read it. We might have all of it now, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 13, so that's cool. Young Master's Revenge. Young Miss Holmes. Man, I would love to collect more of that, but it's really hard to collect for a decent price. Your and My Secret by Ai Morinaga. Your Lover, which is a manhwa title. Yozakura Quartet. Yubisaki Milk Tea. A lot of these ones are not complete. We never bothered going any further. Yu-Gi-Oh! Random volumes. This was not intentional. It's just secondhand stores and sales, so just from all the various incarnations. Eucharism is a whole lot of fun. Reincarnation story. Yume Kira Dream Shop. Yurara. Yu Yu Hakusho. One of the greatest shonen battle manga. You should definitely be reading it. I don't know why you haven't yet. And then the rest of it, up to 19. Zigzag to 3, which was dropped. Zodiac PI, another title that was one of our first. And then at the very end, Zombie Powder, which is the same author as Bleach. And look at all that space we have on our shelves. Amazing. I find it really interesting actually looking around my collection that I don't feel more like disparity or dichotomy in what it is we collect. You know, there is definitely a lot of shoujo manga, but most of the shoujo manga that we've collected I think really has to do with where we started. So we were collecting shoujo manga at the beginning, shoujo manga and really popular shonen manga, and that was sort of the beginning, the bulk of our collection. And then as we got our feet wet and got comfortable with manga, we started to explore more genres. And so now we definitely kind of explore genres that we never would have considered reading before, you know, alternative manga, more literary manga, horror manga. So we have a lot of this kind of stuff in our collection, and I think a lot of it has to do with how we collect. We just sort of buy it if it's super cheap, and so it's given us a real opportunity to try out a lot of manga. But also just the fact that once we started to explore in manga, we've started to realize that our tastes are shifting. You know, as we age, our tastes shift. So I'm just really curious, you know, have you noticed that your tastes have shifted at all? You know, was there something that you used to really like and now you like something else either equally as well, or you've completely stopped liking that original thing that you liked in manga? I'd be really curious. You know, I don't think it's wrong for you to focus on something if you really love it. There's nothing wrong with you to, you know, stay with a particular genre. It's totally up to you how you enjoy manga. So, but I just was really curious, you know, have you noticed that you have experimented or have explored further avenues of manga and have found something that really works for you that you didn't expect? Let me know about that down below. I'd be curious about that. Anyway, this is the end of this part. A new part will be coming really soon, and that's the end of the video. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.